Welcome back
What's
to the PO3
up?
Podcast. My name is Marcus Mark.
I'm Victor Jr.
And we are
Party of Three.
So what's up, man? What else what's been going on with you?
No, I want to know what's been going on with you.
Oh, a whole lot. I mean, you've witnessed it. I've been all over the goddamn place, dude. I'm still like in a haze. I'm not better. I've been these last few weeks. I've been like cycling, rapid cycling really hard, like from up and down, up and down, up and down. Nothing in the middle. So I've just been all over the place. Last week, I read my logs. We still haven't even posted that episode yet. We like to do it every 6 days, but I mean, my logs were pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't been feeling.
Did you stop logging?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, because I got enough. I think I got a whole week of it, and that's what I wanted to read. So if I would have logged the day I was with you, I should have logged it, but there was so much going on in my head that I didn't want to.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I haven't been feeling good though.
No, I know,
like it's been like super noticeable.
Yeah, it is.
But you know what too? I've been less afraid to show it though, because normally I wouldn't show it. But I'm trying to do your thing and be comfortable with
who you are,
with who I am.
Yep,
You know, I wanna wear my heart on my sleeve, and just if that's how I'm feeling, then that's how I'm feeling. And now I want to see who my true family members are. Like if people stop answering my phone call, I'm like, damn, I knew it. I knew I should have kept that shit to myself.
Fuck you too.
You know? Honestly.
No, but yeah, you know, it's actually it's there's like some type of a freedom that you feel within yourself that is like you start embracing who you are and you actually start coming to terms with your mental illness, and you say, okay, there's nothing I could do to fix it. Well, there is something you could do to fix it. Not necessarily maybe fix it 100%, but there's something you could do to alleviate or maintain it and get your mind corrected. And that's the biggest thing, is getting your mind corrected so that you're able to live a life that you're supposed to be living now, you know, so that you could think properly, so that you could focus better and you could direct your life to where you want your life to go.
So we talked about the other day me doing a couple of exercises from your Dig Deep journey. And I wanted to know if you brought anything with you.
No, not this time. We'll do that next time. I wanted to see how you were, because I seen how you were
a piece of shit.
No, you weren't a piece of shit. You're just going through your shit, is what it is.
It's been worse. I mean, it's kind of mild, but it's still, I can still feel it. Like it's definitely not that bad.
Shit.
I might be in denial, but yeah, I mean, I wanted to go through some exercises with you.
Yeah, we will. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna print everything. I have everything printed out for you. I got another page to do for you, but we're gonna sit down. We're gonna go through that maybe at the end of one of the next shows, and we'll just start one form at a time for you, and then we'll see how it works out for you. And I know it's gonna work for you because it worked for me. But there's other stuff that you have to do on your end as well. You know?
On my own.
Yes, exactly.
But I have to. Yeah, that's where I find the hard part, because I don't know if I'll have to, I guess, if I look at it a certain way. But I already know I'm going to try and avoid doing the rituals on my own.
The most important thing that you've already done was you made the choice to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's big right there. You know, we got to celebrate that, because that's a step forward for yourself, and that's a step forward for your own future and for your relationship as well.
Yeah, and we made the call. I mean, there was an incident the other day. You'll hear on episode 10. But I made the call to finally go to group therapy and then start seeking treatment again to see what I can do about getting better. And I feel good about knowing that I'm taking steps towards doing that. I mean, it is funny too, the way the universe works or whatever. I mean, however you want to look at it, if you think things happen for a reason. But as soon as I started having the mind frame of, yeah, I'm willing to try medication now for the second time around.
Yeah.
Attempt taking it, because I never took it the first time. I was watching a Netflix documentary called Unwell, and there was an episode on ayahuasca and how it affects certain people. And there was a segment where this dude, he was completely stressed out at work, but he had no signs of mental illness or anything like that. He just said he was stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't mention anything about harming anybody. So they put him on some kind of SSRI, the ones that come with the black box warning. And long story short, he ended up killing his wife's daughter and himself.
Damn.
With no sign of any mental illness history in his family or anything like that. He just said he wasn't feeling well one day, got on some SSRIs, and a couple weeks later, that incident happened. and they think it's directly due to the SSRIs and how it affected him. And it really scared me off of mine, because the reason I didn't want to take mine in the first place was because it had one of those black box warnings.
Yeah. Well, and it does happen because there are certain side effects that people do have. But on the other hand, they don't affect every single person. So that's probably like one in so many
It's a
cases
percentage.
small percentage. But the only reason why those really stick out is because of the fact that they're heinous crimes. That's something really, really bad that happened, and that's why it's brought up to the light, and that's why it sticks out. I'm not trying to defend anything. Of course, it's wrong, but some people can't take certain medications. It's a side effect, and it doesn't help everybody, but it does help most, and that's the key right there. It does help most, and if you start, at least talk to your physician and ask if you could start on a really, really low dose and slowly increase it.
They were going to put me on 25 milligrams to start. I don't know, like the scale of things. Is that a low dose? Is that very
I'm not
small?
sure about the medication.
It's Lamictal. It's like it's a mood stabilizer. They use it for like narcoleptic patients.
I know
for seizures and stuff.
I know a pharmacist. I'm gonna have to get her on the show with us.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be crazy. I'm still so on the other side of the fence, about taking my medication, just because it just reminded me once again of why I didn't want to take it. Remember we were talking about like the whole the psychedelics approach to healing your mind. Well, I mean,
it popped up on my phone, dude, the next day.
On that documentary though, apparently during intake, like when you're getting interviewed to go do the ayahuasca ceremony in Brazil, they don't allow you if you have schizophrenia or bipolar. They said that could go very wrong very fast. So when I was like, damn, there's another thing I can't do, because I honestly thought about doing something like that, seeking help in that way. But they say that it's not a good combination if you already have. Because these are people that they're not supposed to be on any SSRIs or any type of medication, and they're not supposed to have any mental illness. They're supposed to go. It's more for like PTSD and alcoholics and stuff. Addicts.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. I mean,
I'm gonna have to watch that documentary. I believe I saw it, but
it's just one episode though.
Back.
It's just one episode. It's just an ayahuasca episode on Netflix called Unwell. But it was interesting.
It's out in Brazil, or not Brazil.
The ceremony.
Yeah, it's.
Well, this one was in Brazil.
Oh, that one was.
This one was in Brazil. Yeah, but they have them all over the place. So, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting. Because had I had known that before, I wouldn't even thought of that as an option. But now it's really not, because I wouldn't. Now I don't want to put myself at risk for something like that, because people passed away during those ceremonies because the medicine doesn't react well with them, especially if they're on an SSRI and they don't tell you. Those are the people that usually they die.
We're responsible for letting people know, including our own doctors, if we're taking any type of medication.
Yeah, you can't. That's what they told you, like during the intake. Like, if you're lying to us, we're gonna find out. Like, because you're not gonna have a good reaction, and it's gonna be on you because you signed a waiver.
Yeah, damn, that's fucked up.
Because they're gonna do a blood test after
Yeah, because test could test for.
No,
anything,
after you pass away, they're gonna be like, oh, he was on.
Oh yeah.
SSRIs.
Toxicity report. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then too,
why would you want to go risk that anyways if you're
well, because maybe you feel desperate. Maybe because a lot of the people they were taking medications, but because that's one of the things they mentioned too. People were their condition was untreatable. Even with the medications, they tried numerous medications, for years, and nothing was impacting their depression. Nothing was working for them. So that was one of the reasons they sought out help through indigenous like ceremonies and stuff, So
Peru.
like tribal medicine. Yeah, Peru is one of them too.
Peru, that's where I remember seeing.
I think like all together too, you have to spend like over $2,000 just so like one lady on there spent like I don't know how much money, like $2,500 just to get over there, do the ceremony.
Damn, really?
Ended up having a seizure during the ceremony. Didn't work out. She didn't get any benefits from it. She ended up in the hospital because she almost died. And she had to pay like $10,000 worth of medical bills.
Oh, shit.
And the medicine that she was taking prior wasn't working for her. So neither did this. So it was like, dude, imagine how that person feels. Like,
yeah, it's fucked
completely hopeless.
It ended up costing her more than she thought.
It just set her back even more, and it was horrible. But the one lady who her husband killed himself and the daughter because of the SSRIs, it worked for her. It healed her PTSD because I guess when she was going through the ceremony, the spirits or whatever that she was talking to when she was tripping on the psychedelic told her, because you're supposed to purge when you're going through the ceremony because it's gonna make you nauseous and all
That's
kinds
what
of
I
stuff
heard.
like that.
Yeah.
But her, and I guess her case, she didn't purge, and everybody else was purging. And she was saying that the spirits told her that she had lost enough, so you don't need to purge. And
Oh,
and
damn.
and her translation of that was, it wasn't because that she was gonna lose, anything physical from throwing up. Is that she threw away 11 years of her life, wasted on that trauma that she had with herself, wasting
Yeah,
all
it
those
makes
years.
sense.
So
Yeah.
she had lost enough, and that
So
was
it's some
it.
type of spiritual or something, right?
That's what they
'Cause-
say, dude. I mean, it's super interesting if you actually look into.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again because it was a while back, and I know they mentioned something about like spirit guides or something. Like I know I have a spirit guide, or well, when I was going through my schizophrenia, and my psychologist was telling me that because I had I had the three voices.
Yeah.
I had Sammy, Jones, and Jeremy. Jeremy's a bad guy, and then of course I have a spirit guide. Is Nikolai? Supposedly Nikolai was with me in a past life. But all that being said, it's weird. Like, I don't know what would happen to me if I would go do there and I didn't take these medications that
Well,
I'm on right now. If, like,
a lot of the people they're saying when they're done, I'm not advocating it either. I'm just telling you my perspective of it. And I
Yeah.
think it's interesting because a lot of the
It is.
people when they come down from that, because it's like a 12-hour trip that you're tripping, 4 to 12 hours, depending on the
Damn.
dose. But a lot of people when they come out of it and they're sober again, they describe it as 15 years of therapy in one day
Damn.
or in one weekend. Yeah, and then a lot of people they go cold turkey off heroin addiction, alcohol addiction, methamphetamine addiction.
What's the percentage?
PTSD.
Do you remember what the percentage is? Like how much it works for some? And
It's got to be like 70. I'm just don't quote me, but it's on the higher end. That's why it's gaining so much traction.
that kind of goes back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago about some medications work for some people
Some
and
don't.
some don't. So the same thing with that ayahuasca stuff. It works for some people and it doesn't for others, and there's different side effects.
They say MDMA though has the same kind of effects on somebody with depression. It kind of starts healing those neurotransmitters that have been damaged because of the depression. I don't know if you've ever done Molly or anything like that, but they say when you do it, you're like complete, like
No.
you're just all love. Like you just want to love and tell everyone around you that you love them because you're feeling so euphoric and everything. But they're starting to use microdosing MDMA and they're starting to administer it to people that come back from Iraq as
Oh, wow.
as a treatment option, and they're seeing the positive results from it.
Oh wow.
So even you ever watch Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Wonderful invested into a company that is all revolved around spiritual healing like that. So it's like healing through psychedelics and microdosing. He invested in a company.
Oh
So
wow.
that's got to say something.
Yeah. This means well, he's and plus he's the numbers guy. He wants to see it on paper. He
No,
wants to
yeah,
see
he's
the numbers.
like
He
the
wants
hardest to
see-
convince.
Yeah, and so it must be really good if he's actually throwing his money somewhere like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty crazy. No, yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch that then.
I'm trying to see if I have it. I had it saved.
In your phone there.
Yeah. I'm trying because I saved the what's it called?
Yeah, and how many people do you feel that actually, because they could actually be on, like you said, Molly, right? They
I
could do
deleted it.
Molly, and some of them can have have too much of that and OD on that too, right? Because I've heard a lot of
because
overdoses on that.
People overdo it, dude. My friends used to do this all the time. Every summer there would be something called EDC in Las Vegas, and basically, if you're going over there to listen to rave music, you're
Mhm.
gonna do drugs. That's basically what you're going there for. It's all ecstasy and shrooms and LSD and stuff like that. But I've had my friends explain to me that they've dropped like 9 pills in one night
Damn.
on top of smoking weed, alcohol, and like shrooms and stuff. 9 pills, dude, of Molly, and a lot of the Molly, if when they dissected it, like when it gets confiscated from certain people, like certain things, you'll see that a lot of it is laced with methamphetamine. Like they
Mm.
smash it together, so
So
it's
that
not
they
just
can stay awake too.
it's supposed to be pure MDMA, but a lot of the salesmen they don't you're not checking it. How are you gonna know?
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of it is smashed with MDMA. So
So
imagine 9 pills of like just
that's
stacking that type of
crazy.
drugs. Like
That's
so
like a
yeah,
binge. Like they just want to binge all in one day, and a lot of those people are actually some of them are like business people or people who don't really party that much because you could see like when I through my addiction. My addiction was because I was battling with my own mental illness. So it was an everyday thing for life. You know, I was trying to run and hide from my own mental illness. I was trying to run and hide from the voices, which methamphetamine did make it worse.
it
But
probably amplified it like to a lot, right?
yeah, it made me feel like I was powerful, you know, and that God's talking to me and God's telling me to do certain things. But so then you have these other people who don't do that all their life, but then they pick those one days where they go and they do go to that rave and they go party and they just boom slam everything all at once, right? Because I heard stories of that too. Have you heard that?
I've heard a lot of stories where people OD. I almost did it myself, not OD, but like to go try because it kept inviting me to go to the raves and stuff, and I was like, nah, I'm good. But I know myself well enough to not. I was just afraid of doing something like that,
Well,
especially
somebody could even
pills.
slip something in your drink too,
Yeah,
especially at a rave. You know, they're like, "Oh, this dude's too sober. Let's spike his drink."
I wouldn't
or
let
something."
nobody slip nothing in my drink. Remember I told you
Oh
before
yeah,
I was
yeah,
afraid to
yeah.
leave my drink anywhere, even just a cup
That's
of water
right. I remember
around my
that.
family because of what happened to me. I was so paranoid that somebody was gonna dose me with something again, and I was
Yeah,
gonna get high. I was so afraid of getting high.
that's
But
PTSD right
it
there.
is
Yeah,
PTSD,
that's
and I
PTSD.
still deal with it today. Not
Yeah.
anywhere near that severity where it was when it first few years, but yeah, I had full on PTSD because of it and flashbacks and all that stuff. Like the first few weeks, I was like, I could have swore like I was right back in that moment because of the flashbacks. You know,
There's so many different types of mental illness. At least there's got to be very few people who don't experience it.
it's got to be on the higher end of the percentage of the people who do experience it versus the people who
Yeah.
don't. Right? It's just a lot of people don't say anything, and that's probably a big reason why the world is so messed up because people just incapable of controlling their emotions and they don't know how to take care of their mental health because there's such a lack of healthcare. Like
Yeah.
in the process to go get help, you got to be pretty much employed. Like I'm just
Yeah.
lucky enough that
And you
there's
got to jump through
something
hoops.
there's Medi-Cal, but people who have real jobs and deal with these mental illness issues, their insurance most of the time doesn't cover any of it. Like it's
Yeah.
hardly a percentage. It covers like the visit or something, but the
And they
rest
have
of
to
it,
deal with the stress from being on the job.
no, I dealt with that. I dealt with that my whole life working.
There's so much shit.
I was just every day pulling my hair out and trying
Yeah.
to control myself from being in confrontations, and of course that didn't work.
Yeah.
I would always end up in a confrontation with somebody, like all the time. I remember just going off on my bosses, dude, like just throwing shit, yelling like "fuck you" and "get me the fuck out of here" and this and that. Open the goddamn fucking door, motherfucker! Like bad. Like okay, this guy's a psycho.
Did I tell you about my 7-Up story?
No,
Oh, dude. I was
hear
yeah, I was working for 7-Up, right? So I had my Class A license. I was driving for them. I just got back to San Jose. And so I parked. I was delivering to a liquor store, and there was a cleaning, what do you call it? A cleaner's place where you take your suit in to get cleaned up.
the dry cleaner.
Dry cleaners. And then on the street, it was very busy street on both sides of the corner. And so I pulled into the parking lot because the side street said no parking anytime. And I get a ticket, so I pulled into the parking lot. So I did my delivery. The guy was coming out and he says, "Hey, don't park your truck right here because people can't see my business. You're hiding my business." I said, "Oh, I'm going to be really quick. Just let me drop my product off and then I'm going to get moving." He was so pissed off that he called the company. So I'm driving. I did another delivery. And then the district manager calls me. First thing he tells me, says, "How would you like today to be your last day?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "How would you like today to be your last day?"
You'd be like, how would you like if I socked you in the fucking head? Huh?
No, I go, "Okay." So I hung up on him and I took the truck back. I didn't even ask for an explanation.
Uh-huh.
So I just drove the truck right back. And so I drove the truck back, and then the supervisor was out there right automatically. He's like, no, he was just trying to ask you a question. I said, no, bullshit, don't fuck with me like that. And I
Don't play these
wasn't,
games.
yeah, I wasn't
Reindeer games.
I wasn't in the right head at that time either because, I was still dealing with my schizophrenia and shit. And I even looked at the phone. I was like, did I really get a call or was that just me?
Okay.
So I went in there and I went to the office. I went directly into his office and I threw the keys on his table and I said, I want my check within 72 hours. He said, well, hold on. Let me talk to you about this. I said, there's nothing to talk about you. Don't threaten me like that. He's like, well, you parked in front of a customer's car, in front of a customer's business, and that customer buys our product. So now because you did that, they're not going to buy our product. And our company's going to lose this much money. I said, so you'd rather me park on the street, me get a ticket, you guys get mad at me for getting a ticket in your vehicle. And he's told me, that's the risk you're going to have to take. I said, bullshit. I'm not taking a risk on my license. I'm not taking a risk on my license for your dollar. And
how good this makes me feel right now.
I was just like, I go, you're full of shit. And I said, you know what? Give me my fucking check in 72 hours. And I walked out and everybody was just looking at me like, fuck. They never expected somebody to go in there and do
I'm
that.
gonna edit another applause right here. I'm gonna edit it. No, bro, because anybody else would just lay down. I mean, depending on your circumstance, I'm sorry. Sometimes you got to take the shit from the piece of shit boss and you don't have the choice to just quit. But there's the other side of things where people like you and I were like, all right.
Mental health issues. Don't fuck with us.
No, I guess I'm too stubborn to just let that slide, you know?
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing you did. Maybe not in that way. Probably more, aggressive, but I would have got fired either way,
Yeah.
But it's because like, fuck you, dude. Who the fuck,
Yeah.
You have no idea. You don't know the context of the situation.
Yeah.
And you're just saying that because you think we're just puppets and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to affect you.
Put him in his place. And then the supervisor called me a month later and said, hey, would you like to come back and work?
What'd you say?
I was like, fuck no. Got another job.
What company was this?
7-Up.
Make sure you don't apply there. I drink 7-Up though. I got it in my fridge.
Have it with some alcohol? No.
No, yeah, there have been plenty of times where I've been at work and I've just like thrown shit and like just really unnecessary stuff.
Well, you worked in construction. You didn't like start shooting the nail gun, did you?
But here's the thing about construction. I've had my my incidents, but nothing near the as like severe as in the corporate world. Because in construction, you're getting a lot of people who are just got out of jail, still in jail, and a lot of fuck ups, a lot of gangbangers, a lot of people like that. So we kind of like more or less relate to each other. Like, so we're just kind of all chill. There's nobody that's like all corporate like that. There's one or two people like on the job site that don't work on the job site, but they manage shit that are kind of like that, but they're still really laid back. I mean, we would drink on the job site all the time and get fucked up and stuff.
Oh,
so it was more or less laid back. That's why I enjoyed construction. I just didn't like I just thought that I can be doing something better with my life than that, because it's hard on your body. It's really hard. I mean, you learn a really good trade, but like, it was nowhere near the amount of stress that you would encounter at a corporate job. Because you know how corporate is.
Oh yeah,
it's horrible. It's like you have to be a certain way. And if you step out of line, then you're fired, and you get so many warnings and this and that. And what is it? They like you get write-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're 2 minutes late. They want to understand. There's like no tolerance for it. It's like, dude, come on. We're human beings. There's traffic. Sometimes I catch the red lights on the way over here. Sometimes I oversleep because I worked too hard yesterday, and they refuse to understand that.
They're worried about the corporate dollar. That's all they want is the corporate dollar. They don't care if because the employees, all the higher ups, the employees are a dime a dozen. There's always somebody looking for a job, especially around now. So if you're not meeting your numbers, boom, you're out.
They just replace you. It's no big deal. They just
nothing.
They just get on, look through the stack of applications that they have, and they'll find somebody to work cheaper.
The circle of work life.
And more like with construction, like I was able to pretty much just take whatever day off I wanted, and it didn't really matter. As long as I requested it, they were going to approve it. Versus corporate, you got to have the vacation days.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to lose time on sick pay or whatever it is, and you're going to lose out on that money. Versus over here, it's like your choice. Like if you want to, if you want to miss out on that pay, if you have vacation, you can have the day off, Just really, they were really lenient with me. Like there was a couple foremans where I explained my situation with my trying to get on medication. I need some time off, and can I have this? And they were like always super understanding. And I was like, there's a lot of dudes that I still talk to from construction that I met that I still talk to now because I just kind of developed a bond with them. I never got that in corporate. the corporate world. I never.
No, because everybody's out to get it. It's a dog eat dog world in the corporate world.
Dude, even when I walk into Lowe's now, because that's where I used to work. Lowe's was one of the first places. Even when I walk in there now, like, I can't even stand the people that work there, dude. It's like, dude, you're still here? I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I may be saying this wrong. Like, good for you. I'm sorry I couldn't still be there, but like, dude, it just disgusts me. I don't like the corporate side of things. You know?
So you wouldn't like if I bought you a Lowe's vest for Christmas?
You can. I'll just burn it. Dude, I have so many stories from Lowe's, like from like just incidents of me going off on people and shit. Like I've lost some friends, you know, to my mental instability because of, you know, just going off on certain people for no reason.
And there's a lot of people out there, you know, there's a lot of people out there that, and they might not even know or even recognize or notice that they have these mental illnesses.
Dude, there was a time where like I carved like some shit in my arm with like a box cutter and shit. And I didn't think anything was wrong with that. I went like showed my mom the next morning and shit. Like, there's something wrong with you, dude. Like you could probably go get yourself checked. Like, but I didn't notice, you know? Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know.
So if somebody's like going off on you and you feel like it's out of their character, you should probably like reach out and maybe ask, is there something going on with them?
But then because of stigma, people are afraid to approach people like that, you see?
But I hope we're getting towards, you know, like in the future, like I hope we're coming out of that, like the stigma, you know? I feel like we're working on that.
I think so. It's becoming more of a common, you know, common thing to
It's a commonality
talk about.
Because if you did this podcast in the 80s, you would get laughed at.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
And now people are like searching this shit on YouTube, like on a regular basis.
Yeah,
now.
it's important. And it's more common than what people think, you know? And there's still that stigma, of course. We know that because we lived through that. But it's not being afraid to say what you have, what's wrong with you. You got to embrace it. And I understand that it may be very hard, or you may even be embarrassed to think that you even have something wrong with you mentally or any type of mental issues.
I'm still there.
It's worth checking it out. It's worth reaching out to somebody, because not only can it slowly progress, but it could actually flip quickly within your mind. It could like just flip within the matter like a light switch. So you don't know, you never know. It's always best just to double check and reach out to somebody. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, I'm still in that boat where I'm afraid to be myself, but you know, working on that.
You're coming a long way though. I could see it in you. You're willing, and that's the key, is you got to be willing, and that's what you are. You're willing to work on it. You're willing to go those extra steps.
That's why I asked you the other day. I was like, just from a third person point of view, does it seem like I'm willing to try? Because sometimes I don't know. Because I know I could be hard headed, so I don't want if I'm speaking and it sounds ignorant, I want to know. You know.
No, I could see it in you. You're willing, because you have somebody that you love, and well, you have a lot of people that you love. You know?
Too, though, right? I mean, you're still working on yourself every day.
Every single.
You're never
day.
healed. You're never
healed. Always got to take my medications. Just yesterday, honestly, last night I wasn't feeling good. I was just sitting there, and I was actually caught myself staring into space, like, and I felt like the overwhelm. Yeah, I felt the overwhelmness of that depression. I just felt the heaviness in my stomach. And then I just reminded myself who I am, where I've been, and how far I've come. And I started to appreciate. So like now when these issues come up in my head or in my life, I'm able to take a little bit of a deep breath, and I'm able to change my focus. But it took a lot of work to do that. It took years to come to this place where I'm at now. And now that I'm here, I'm able to stop myself and say, okay, look at where you are, how far you've come, and where you're going, and how many people I'm able to help. And it's okay to feel these feelings. It's okay, because it's natural. It's a part of me. It's going to always happen, whether I'm taking my medications or even if I still taking my medications, it still shows up. And that is okay. And that's what people need to think back, and they need to realize that where they're at today is a step forward from yesterday, and it helps them get ahead. And
you gotta look at the small victories.
Yep.
For me, just getting up, brushing my teeth is a long way. I've come a long way today. You know, just getting dressed,
just walking those steps.
No, yeah, just getting out of bed, getting dressed, just doing the little tasks. Like for me, eating's a big one. So the fact that I ate before you got here was a big one because usually I don't have an appetite. So I could tell like I'm coming down a little bit because I'm starting to get my appetite back.
Good.
You know, so I mean that's good. But most of the time, it's just those small victories that you gotta really tally up. Don't like,
And celebrate.
cause what did you tell me the other day? Don't set like expectations of others, or
No.
cause you're always gonna get disappointed.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you can only control your world. Like, you gotta focus on the little things.
And we can't even set expectations for ourselves because we'll be disappointed if we have those expectations because things change. Life changes.
People change.
People change. Everything
You
just
gotta
every
adapt.
day. You have to adapt and adapt quickly, and you have to work on you.
I enjoy it though. To me, it's like I've always been a project person. You know, I've always liked working on projects, and
A project of you.
No, I
Yeah.
like to view fixing myself as a project.
Yeah.
Now. It's just another because I'm always like been into creative things and looking at situations like it's a puzzle, and I feel like I'm just one big scattered puzzle right now, and I'm trying to slowly find the pieces. I'm looking under the couch, see if there's a missing piece under there. If there is, I'm gonna grab it, throw it on the
Along
table,
with
and
the
add
nickel.
it to the picture. And work towards completing that. I just feel like I'm a big old puzzle, and I'm just trying to put myself back together. So eventually, I can get to a point where you can see most of me without there being too many holes. Because I feel like a lot of us that go through this, they feel like they're empty and there's something missing within them. You feel like there's a hole in you.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I got 3 or 4 holes in me, but I mean, like, like I'm speaking like metaphorical holes.
More than that.
I mean, there's like metaphorical holes. You know what I mean? Gotta shed a little bit of light in the situation.
Right?
I went too deep. But I mean, I look at myself as like a project. Like I'm enthused about trying to get better because honestly, I get bored with things really quick.
Mhm.
And this is one of those things where you're not going to get bored with it
Oh no.
because this is one of those things that's ongoing, especially with our conditions. It's not something that you cure. It's just something that you maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't get rid of it. It's not like
One board's gonna fall out. You have to nail that one back in. Another one's gonna fall out. You have to.
and the older you get, dude, it's like the more your mental starts deteriorating, and that's why it's important to just really take care of yourself now.
It does, and I've seen that happen in my own family, dude.
It goes. It's gonna go, and I could feel mine already. Like I'm not as sharp as I used to be when I was 25. As far as like being able to recall certain words or just certain like basic, motor skills or whatever. You could just feel it like digressing little by little.
Yep.
And I just think about 20, 30 years from now if you make it that far.
Yep.
You know.
And you know what? It's constantly maintaining and starting to maintain this early because I've seen where it happened in my own family where I could tell that there's mental illness, but from when they were growing up, it's something that it wasn't really recognized or discussed. And now that a lot of them are older, you could tell. I mean, you could see how much it's progressed in their own life. And if you could start now, if you recognize it in yourself or even if in your family or your friends, it's better to approach them. Of course, approaching them in a certain way, a right way, and without offending them. But it's better to start working on it now. It's never too late. You have to seek the help that you need because mental illness does progress. It does.
It'll get worse
if
you don't take care of it.
Yeah.
I could feel mine getting worse. I think that's why I didn't start to like really, really get like severely bad until I started getting older. Because I was just kind of like dealing with it. I noticed it, and it was definitely a problem, but it didn't start like knocking me down for weeks or months at a time until I started getting older.
Mhm.
Because I wasn't taking care of myself, and I could really see the repercussions of neglecting my health. It was really impacting me in a negative way, and it was impacting everyone around me. And it was just making it was just like the perfect storm. It was just a big ass hurricane.
And people don't realize it's actual mental illness. They just say, "Oh, he's just an asshole."
Yeah.
They don't really see the truth behind it.
Like even now looking at you, like there's like a fog, like still, like I'm trying to like hold it together, but like there's like a fog because I'm not well,
Yeah.
and I could say I'd rather be well than unwell,
Yeah.
and that's coming from personal experience, and you don't want to just if you have the means, like dude, just seek help.
Yeah.
Like it's like I can't even express that enough, like how important it is to take care of yourself.
I'm proud of you, man, because you reached out the other day, and then you came over and we spoke, and we even did some recording for the podcast. Just out of the blue, just did it. And
I honestly don't like the fact that I showed up like that though, because I don't like to do that to anybody. Like I've never, but something just told me that I was comfortable
You know what,
enough and
though?
at a level with you guys to where I'm gonna go over here because I need to talk about it.
And we know because we live it ourselves, and I live mental illness myself. And you know, like I told you before, even if it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no matter what it is, you come over and you.
And I'll tell you this, people, like whoever's listening, if you ever have a choice to do the right thing when it comes to your mental health, do the right thing. Because look, I had a choice. I could either have gotten in my car in that state of mind that I was in. I was seeing red. I was aggressive, and I wanted to hurt myself, and I wanted to hurt others. Regardless if I was going to do that or not, those were still the state of mind that I was in. I had a choice to get in my car and go cause chaos around town, and just be a wild animal, or to go and try and talk about this with somebody that I could reach out to. And always, I always say go for the help.
Yeah.
Don't take the dark path. Every now and then you might have those moments, but the more times that you seek help, the better, because I don't regret it. In other words, I would have regret doing something else.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of you, man. You even reached out to.
I like the way you were
a certain
talking to me though,
place.
because you weren't trying to you guys weren't trying to bullshit me. You're like, you
No,
got to cut
because-
that shit out, dude. Like, why are you feeling sorry for yourself right now?
Yeah. You have issues. You have to accept it. You have to get it fixed. And that goes for anybody out there. You have an issue. You're always gonna have it. You just need to get it maintained. And fuck the stigma. Fuck what people say. You got to get in there and you got to work on you for you. And if you're out there listening there, you don't have any mental health issues, then great. Then you know what? Then you need to step up and you need to help those people who are suffering from mental health issues, because you just don't know how it is. You don't know how it feels, and you'll never understand. But be there, be open and listen.
Be that like beacon of light for somebody who's like struggling in the dark. If you got a little brother who's like trapped in his room all the time, or an older sister who is just, very distant from you, and you can just tell that they're going through something, don't just sit back and watch the house fall apart,
And don't be in denial.
Reach out, like, just be that person that, they feel like they're comfortable going to, because you might be that one person that they call on the one time that they need somebody.
And you might save their life.
Yeah, no, you might.
And the life of others.
Yeah, because if you're alone, you're gonna feel like you don't have anybody and that nobody cares, and you'd rather just take your own life than, rather than just go to that one person who might talk you off the ledge.
Yep.
Because there's been plenty of times where I've needed to be talked off the ledge.
Yeah. And then look at those other people as well. That look at where they go into the office because they've gone the quote postal or whatever, because they're dealing with mental illness, and then just something, boom, they made them snap.
That place would make anybody go postal though. You seen those lines?
Yeah.
That's why I don't order shit online, dude. Like Amazon, I'd rather just get it, take it home. If I want it, just go back to the store, Where's the return line?
Well, now all the stores are letting, because of COVID, you could order there at the store and just go pick it up.
I don't like
curbside pickup.
I don't like the post office. So yeah, going back to that, I invested in our camera gear. So hopefully in the next few episodes, we're going to have some video for you guys.
Yeah. We're going to keep doing episodes though, because we feel like this is awesome.
That's the reason I invested, because I feel like this topic and what our podcast stands for is something that needs to be heard, and a lot of people go through it, and I feel like we can maybe help some people, even if it's only a few. But I feel like this is something we need to keep going, and I want to see where this goes,
Yeah. And as you listeners could tell right now, we're non-scripted. I mean, we just go and we keep talking, and you'll see some of the episodes are longer, some are a little bit shorter, but we don't time ourselves because we're feeding off of each other, and we really want mental illness awareness. People need to be aware. It's just too bad right now in the world to pass up or to ignore and to be stigmatized.
Do you feel like the more that we do these episodes, you're like getting more comfortable with being open about things?
Oh no, I've been pretty comfortable. Yeah, I'm pretty.
I'm just wondering where your headspace is at, because we're almost, we're 11 episodes deep now.
Yeah, I've been pretty comfortable. I think the first episode I was kind of like, but then after that, I think I was just like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna decide to do, and being on medications actually helped me a lot. So
see the positive side of things.
I don't know where I'd be right now if I wasn't taking medications.
Well, you probably wouldn't be here doing a podcast.
Yeah, I might be
I don't
either
think so.
dead or out on the streets.
I don't know though, because I'm off meds and I need to be on them, and
Yeah,
I'm trying to. But yours, I feel like
the
it's
schizo.
more severe. I just feel like it's one of those
Well,
things where I don't know.
no, I think mental illness and mental illness, to me personally, not one's greater or less than the other because it's something affecting you in your mind, and it affects everything and everyone in your life. That no matter which mental illness it is, it's going to affect you, your family, your friends, your employment. It's going to affect you.
I take that back though, because I don't think I would be doing this if it wasn't for you. Because if I had to depend on myself to do it, I wouldn't be putting nearly as much effort into getting up and recording an episode by myself. It's just easier to bounce something off somebody who goes through the same thing, you know. So I mean,
I feel you.
yeah, because it is both of us, and there's a dialogue that's created.
And you're my brother, man. I
It's
love
way
you. You're my
easier.
brother.
I'm glad we're doing it though. I mean, and another thing too that I wanted to like kind of change things up as far as perspective goes is bring somebody in who lives with somebody and how it affects that person living with
Yes.
somebody who has a mental illness. Because my fiance will attest to that. Like she can give you
No,
the
maybe we'll bring her in there.
if she's willing to speak on it.
Mhm.
I would like to have her on and
That'd be a good
give her
idea.
perspective on what it's like to deal with somebody like me.
Yep.
You know, because I can tell you it's not easy,
Yeah.
and we have our peaks and valleys.
Oh, of course.
And that's to
yeah.
put it mildly, you know. And still, she said yes.
You got your canyons and your.
Yeah. It's definitely a roller coaster ride. But I think that would be interesting. And then also, on the next one, I want to shoot for bringing some of your exercises in, and then
Yeah, we will do that.
doing them
definitely.
live on air and seeing.
We'll do that.
You know, going through some of the steps and stuff, and then seeing what it's like, seeing what you're gonna get from his program. You know, because I'm willing to be a test dummy. You know, but it's all for the benefit of my mental health and
Yep,
you know,
that's right.
improving your program. So,
Yeah, that's right.
but I mean, you want to wrap it up,
I'm
dude? We've been
good.
going for about an hour.
Yeah, I'm good. We're really good. We had a really good episode today. We got a lot of information out and a lot off of my chest, a lot off of your chest, and we're good. Don't forget to vote, people.
Well, I was gonna say too. There's only so much I could talk about the politics, and
Nah,
I mean that's not really not my area. I'm not an expert in it, but I mean, if you want, I mean, you can have somebody on who knows more about it. I really don't care. Like, it's really up to you.
I just want to get the message out there that people need to get up and get out and
'Cause
vote.
it's the moral of why you should vote, right?
Yeah.
For you.
Yes, for me. Yeah.
And the moral is, you know, treat others equally.
Yeah, that's right. That's all I want is equality in this world and equality in this nation. And right now it's not that way. And my final message for this evening is, you know, get out there, vote. Black Lives Matter. Brown and Black Lives Unite. And I'm your brother with an open heart, Victor Jr.
My name is Marcus Marx, and we'll catch you on the next one.